What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Seems like it has been forever since I put out a video, so the wife and son are off tonight doing their thing, and I've got a few minutes. So I thought I would shoot a quick video, and I'm either going to try to talk really fast and cram everything together, because this is going to be about two totally different subjects: beer, homebrew, and remote control airplanes. So depending on how long it goes and how much I ramble, I may split it up into two different videos, but we'll see how it goes from there. But I want to start off by saying thanks to Everty. I think it's how you pronounce your YouTube name, Tyler. Tyler was so kind to send me a generous package of beer mail, and thank you for the kind words. And I'm always humbled by what people say about my videos, and I'm just glad that I'm able to help people in some way, shape, or form with my videos that I've put up in the past. And I'm glad I can give back, because so many people have helped me, and people still help me. I still learn a lot, and I've said it before, we all learn from each other, and it's a great experience. But he was kind enough to send me a couple of his homebrews. His Thai PA, which is if you'll see the logo there, it's pretty cool how he did it. It's an Imperial IPA, and he jumped in with both feet when he done his first IPA. He done a double IPA, and it's like 8.5%. And this is his brown ale that I can't wait to try. I'm venturing out, folks. I love my IPAs. Y'all know I'm a hophead, those of you that's watched me any amount of time. But I love a brown, a good amber, which leads me over to this one from one of his local folks out there, MKE Brewing. Louis DeMais Amber Ale, and Big Eddie's Imperial IPA he also sent. And he was cool enough to send some, if you can see that in the light, some fresh cheese curd from Wisconsin, Gibbsville. And that is awesome. My wife and I both love cheese, and I can't wait to try it. As you can see, the Thai PA double IPA is opened. That's because I'm sipping on that. That's what I came home to tonight. I know you didn't want to review, Tyler, but I'm not going to do it. I don't actually do reviews. I suck at reviews, but I can tell you when I like a good beer, and I really enjoy this beer. I know you had sent out the recipe to some folks and got some feedback, and I'm trying not to drink it fast because I want it to warm up. I really am a firm believer in letting beers warm, taking a few drinks when you open them, and then letting them warm and get let those flavors come out, the hops come out, and it's such a different beer to me when you let a beer warm up towards room temperature and sip on it as you go, and just notice the flavors. A lot of people just go up on them, or even if they do sip them, maybe they don't think as it's warming up the different flavors they're getting. And that's something I try to do. But this beer is really well balanced. It's very well carbonated. And I would brew this beer. I would drink this beer all day long. I would buy this beer. It's more on the malty side for a double IPA. But to me, it's fine. That's a great thing. A lot of people like their IPAs really crisp and dry, and that's fine and dandy, but sometimes you like a little malt backbone, which this has, but it's really well balanced because it has the hops there to back it up. Very well done. And I know your amber, you scored really high on in the contest you entered, so I can't wait to try that. So I'm going to get these back in the fridge before I go on, and because I've had them in the fridge and I don't want them to get too warm because I may drink more than one tonight. I'll be right back with you. Loving the cheese. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to break it open. My wife and I love wine and cheese. Good dry red wine and some goat cheese or something. These cheese curds are great. All right, beer. Nothing's really changed on the homebrewing scene for me. Still got the same beers on tap: a black IPA, the two Fuster Clucks, the English and American. They've pretty much been in there long enough to where now they can be called like a pale ale and a English bitter. I just have not had time to drink my beers. That sounds pitiful, don't it? They should be towards the end because we had a party for my wife's birthday not long ago and wiped out quite a bit. But I've still got that on tap. Still got the black IPA. Still got another probably half a keg of black IPA. Still got some of the Edwards apple wine I just took off and set in the other chest freezer in there, so it's fine. It can sit. I actually still have some Pilsner lager that can sit in there. Actually, it's in that kegerator, and still have some of it left, and that's fine. It can sit. So it's not going to hurt any one of those. They'll just get better with time. But last couple of weekends, I was off at the brewery up at Skull Camp. One of the weekends, I just had like family time. Actually, both weekends. But the second weekend, we actually went to Oktoberfest in Asheville, North Carolina, which was great. My first like Oktoberfest experience. Done a brewery tour of Highland, which we've done before. The wife's parents went with us and kept the baby. Had a nice cabin to stay in, so we were able to go enjoy the festival. And on Saturday, beautiful weather, great beers, lines were fine, everything was great. Just a nice getaway. So that was cool. As far as the brewery, things are just crazy. I did, like I say, I had a couple of weekends off. We're brewing as often as we can, and you can tell this Imperial IPA is starting to get a hold of me, even though I've had a half a glass on a I didn't really eat much for lunch, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, we're brewing as often as we can with what equipment we have. I feel like I'm talking 1,000 miles an hour because I don't want this video to be long and drawn out. I've been brewing. Right now I've got a Citra IPA on tap up there that turned out really well, even though I missed my numbers and the gravity was a little lower than what I wanted. Temperatures are affecting us up there because we really don't have a good way to control our fermentation temps now that the temps are dropped, and we're actually in the barrel room of the winery. I know some of you saw that video, but I just can't wait to get the brewery going, the brew house, which we're still debating on size, maybe 5 or 7 barrels, and be able to control everything. I just want it all to be controlled, and I'll just leave it at that. But the beers are going really well. They're flowing really well. It's hard for us to keep up. We all 3 of us brewers had Oktoberfest. Oh, actually, there was 2 of us had Oktoberfest. That went really well. I did my Oktoberfest ale that I brewed here at the house, with the Kolschist, and yeah. So if nothing happens this weekend, I'm brewing Sunday. Don't know quite for sure yet. It'll be an Imperial IPA, and we have our first beer festival Saturday in the Cornelius, North Carolina, Lake Norman area. If any of you are familiar with that, so come on out if you from around that area. It's a wine, beer, and food festival. So it's our first festival. We're only taking like 60 gallons of beer. We're taking my black IPA, one of the other brewers' stouts, and one of the other brewers' wheat IPA, which is an interesting beer. Really hoppy wheat. So yeah, it's just going to be a crazy weekend, and it seems to never end. And so that's about it with the brewing. I hope to sneak in a brew day here. Work has been crazy, like 50-hour weeks for a month or so now, and with the baby and everything, I just don't have time to do a whole lot, especially brewing, like where it takes up a half a day. So the days I do have off, we try to do family stuff, and I may, when the hours go back to normal, I may just take a day off and have a good brew day or a double brew day and get some beers going here. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I've got crap straight everywhere. There's 20 pounds of Maris Otter and some specialty grains sitting around, magazines. I got such a mess down here. But I just haven't had time to brew, and I really need to get something going because those beers are going to run out before too awful long, and I want to have something close to being ready. So I think that's all I'm going to say about beer, home brewing. Again, Tyler, thank you so much for the beers. Can't wait to try the rest of them, and the cheese is great. All right, let's switch gears, and let me look at my time here. 5 minutes. Okay, I should be able to get all this together. Maybe it might be a little long video, but where do I start with this? Like, I have time for a hobby, or another hobby right now in my life. I really don't like drinking beers that people send me when I'm videoing because I can't really just sit and enjoy them and think about them. I feel like I'm focusing on what I'm saying and thinking. But anyway, um, maybe 8 years ago or so, I got into remote control airplanes. My next door neighbor, he's flown forever. He was always big into RC, planes, glow, and then he kind of got me interested in it years back, and I started researching and thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I got into it, and make a long story short, or as short as I can make it, I bought like a $35 GWS slow stick kit. If any, I know I mostly talk about beer, but if any of you are familiar with planes at all, you may know what the slow stick is. It's like a beginner's plane. Start off with like I say, it was like $35 plane, and of course you have to buy the radio and all the other stuff. You can probably get into RC a whole lot cheaper, but at that time it cost me like, I don't know, $200 or $300 to get my radio and a plane and the batteries and the charger and all that stuff. Before I knew it, I was into aerial photography and doing business shots for businesses and residential shots for nicer homes and all these people that wanted stuff. And I can go into a story that Homebrew Brewery, I know you were doing some videos with your helicopter, and I know you lost your helicopter. And I want to share a story with you folks and with you Homebrew Brewery sometime, but I won't do it on this video because it'll take too much time. But maybe one evening when I can sit down and talk about that, I'll share that. But I ended up turning the hobby into a business. Just a small little, every once in a while I would do people's homes, and I had like a Black Widow video downlink on a plane I had built. I had a Nikon 3700 digital camera strapped to it. I controlled the shutter with the landing gear switch on my radio. So basically I could go up and the video downlink would send down to a PS1 screen I had mounted on a tripod. I could see what my plane was seeing, and I could flip the switch, take multiple shots or do video or whatever. So it was really cool. It was a fun hobby, scary hobby. But then the divorce happened, and so I kind of stalled me on planes and doing all that, and it got to the point where I had to choose between food and my hobby. So I sold everything, got out of the hobby completely. Everything. What I didn't sell, I gave away. So I had nothing for like 5 years. It's been like 5 years since I flew an airplane. So my next door neighbor, he and I flew it together a lot, and he kind of got out of the hobby too. So probably a month ago, he goes to the hobby shop down probably half hour from here and buys a little ARF kit, almost ready to fly or ready to fly. I can't remember which one it was. And I come home and he's got a plane out here flying. I'm like, great, thanks for putting the bug in my ear. Plus, Homebrew Brewery, when I saw your video, I was like, man, I missed that hobby because I really did miss it, and I wished I hadn't sold all my stuff. So I flew his plane like the first time I flew a plane in 5 years, and it's just a simple plane, no 3D stuff or anything like that, but a basic plane, beginner's plane. I don't know why he got it, because he can fly really well, but he wanted to work his way, or just, I guess, see if he was interested, or I don't know. But anyway, so that kind of gave me the itch, and my wife was like, okay, your birthday's coming up. I don't know what to get you. You've got everything, or what do you need, or what do you want? And I'm like, well, I don't need anything. I don't really want anything, and I don't have time for anything. And I said, but, I really want to get back into the remote control airplanes. Even though I don't have a lot of time, I can do 15 minutes here, half hour there, whatever. So I don't have time to build planes like I used to, and it got to the point to where I was mostly flying these little, what they call foamies, and I know a lot of you probably don't know what I'm talking about. Some of you may, but they're just made out of this EPP foam. They're virtually indestructible, and I got to the point where I was building my own planes out of the Lowe's blue fan fold foam that you see put on houses. so I could build a plane. I could just get some plans or come up with my own design and cut my plane out of foam and put the electronics on it myself. And I do all electric, by the way, so I don't do any glow stuff, any gas stuff at all. So anyway, I don't have time to build stuff, and so I told my wife, I said, if you want to get me this plane, it's like a half-hour plane to put together. I'll buy all the other stuff myself, the radio and batteries and stuff like that, because I fly LiPo batteries, and I'll take care of the chargers and all that, because that's a little more complicated. So I've got a mess, but this is what my wife got me, and it's not my birthday yet, but it came to the door, and she knew I was excited about it, so she went ahead and let me open it. And I have flown it once, and it flies well. I was really nervous flying it because it's a pretty big plane. I never really flew anything this big. Most of my stuff was like 3-foot wingspan and smaller. And I did have several 3D planes and some slow trainer planes that I used for my aerial photography, but I flew it the first time a couple of nights ago, and it done really well, other than coming in to a landing in my backyard where the grass is a little high with the factory small wheels and the wheel skirts that was on it. As soon as it hit the grass, it nosed over and kind of loosened up the land gear and knocked out some foam, but it didn't mess anything up here. All that was fine. So my neighbor was kind enough, he had bought me some bigger wheels because we knew it was going to be an issue, and I really shouldn't have even flown it before I put these on here. So I took this old stuff off, put on the bigger wheels, and took off the skirts. So hopefully when it hits the grass now, I won't nose over. And I've got my flaps worked out so I can hopefully slow down a little more. And I may go out and actually mow me a couple of strips in the backyard really close, kind of give me a little better landing strip. So yeah, man, back into it. I love it. I love flying. I miss it. Like I say, I haven't done it in like 5 years. But something like this plane, it came pretty much, you had to put the wings in. They kind of insert into the body, and I ain't going to turn it over and show all that. It just kind of screws in. It's all screwed together, no glue. All this comes in one piece, and just kind of stick it in there and plug it in. And I did go back and I did do a few modifications. The cutouts here for the ailerons, and actually all the foam cutouts were really thin, so I just kind of beefed them up with tape a little bit. And that's the way I used to build all my wings. Actually didn't even have a connection here. The connection was made with tape. So I did beef those up. I put Loctite on all my connections, either Loctite or CA glue, and all that. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna try to fly it again this afternoon if the wind doesn't pick up. That's the one thing about flying remote control airplanes. Wind is not your friend unless you're flying certain type planes. But yeah, I'm excited about flying this one up. It takes like a 4-cell. I've got a 4S 2500 battery for that one. So like I say, I know a lot of y'all that watch my channel for my homebrewing videos may not know anything about this, or may not have known that I ever was into this, but I was into it big time. At one time I had so much stuff, it was unbelievable, with the aerial photography and just flying. I had one wing called a Devastator that would do about 80 miles an hour, and that plane used to make me so nervous. You could fly it slower, but that son of a gun would rock, and I missed that plane so much. So what I did was go online, find a guy that was selling smaller wings already put together, made out of the EPP foam, basically put together. We had to do a few things to them. And that's my second plane. I ordered, my neighbor and I, we've got 2 of them, just alike, just different color schemes. And we're going to do combat with these. Now, these are called Flying Wings. This is the Mini Pop wing from Nitro Planes. And there's a guy on rcgroups.com that builds these and puts his own power system in them, and this sucker will go about 60 to 70 miles an hour. And you're talking about getting your adrenaline going. My phone's ringing. I thought I heard something. Give me just a second. Be right back. Sorry about the interruption. But yeah, man, this plane, I've flown it several times. It flies great. I had a couple of things I needed to adjust, and it will actually rock and roll. Oh God, it's fast. And it'll fly slow. Actually, Nitro Plane sells this with a stock kit that will run like 20 miles an hour, and this guy, like I say, he beefs them up with his own power system, so his own speed control and motor. And I didn't show you my radio. Oh, well, we're going to do combat, like I say, try to knock each other out of the sky. I've never done that with the wings I had. He never had a wing, so when he gets his going, he's got the, like I say, the same thing. I can't wait to get out there and try to do that. But as far as my radio, I went back old school. Most stuff now is 2.4 gigahertz, the newer radios. This is the radio I had back in when I was flying, JR6102, XP6102. I found it on the forums and just went ahead and got it. It came with several receivers. I was used to it. I don't go to flying fields hardly ever. Even there's one like 3 or 4 miles from my house. But I usually fly in the backyard, so I'm not worried about other people's channels and stuff. And I've never had any interference around here with the 72 megahertz stuff. So my neighbor, he went out and got the new 2.4 radios, and they are nice. And I may end up with one day, who knows. But for right now, that's fine for me. So this is the other battery for the big plane in there. These are a couple of batteries for my wing here. And I got some more coming. Batteries have changed, man. They're cheaper than they were 5 years ago when LiPos were, I guess, first coming out. These little 850 milliamp hour 3-cell batteries, like $7 or $8. And I got a Thunder AC 680 charger, and I think my wife's gonna get me another one. There's so many options out there. It's got a balancing port and all that stuff. Sorry again for you folks that are watching this for the beer stuff and don't know anything about flying or all that, but yeah, they're this is 3-cell and this is a 4-cell and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's it. Just wanted to share with you the new hobby. And like I say, I don't get much time to fly, but the batteries don't last 10 minutes anyway, so half hour and I'm done anyway. And come home in the evening when the wife's doing something, I can go out and fly and just kind of get a break from life and get my mind off beer and work and everything else, and just kind of do my own thing. So it's nice. But I guess I'm gonna wrap this up. Maybe at some point we might do a little video of a combat if we can get somebody to film it, and I may look at doing some night flying. So I always wanted to do that. I never did back when I was flying, doing some putting some lights on either one of the planes maybe, and doing some night flying. So I guess that's about it, and hopefully I can get all this in one video, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to finish off this beer, and I'm not going to drink another one before I fly because that's not good. So I'm going to chill out for a little while, get with my neighbor on some things, and fly a little bit. And questions, comments, always feel free to lay them on me. Appreciate you. I am watching your videos. Try to comment when I can. All you folks, I do appreciate you. So, yeah, holla. Later.